Hello, Code M family. It's another exciting podcast. Happy New Year. Hopefully, everybody had a good New Year out there. And today I'm with Najee. Najee, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Brad. I love the way you say my name, man. You said it correctly.
Yes, yes, yes. Well, I did my research, man, so I
Oh,
couldn't do
okay. All right.
anything wrong. I had to make sure I was okay if I come
Oh,
on.
yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. So, how was your New Year, sir?
Oh, it's great, man. Great, man. Happy New Year to you.
Yes, yes. Happy
Yes,
New Year,
sir.
man.
Thank you.
2025 went by very, very fast. Um, and we're already off to a rocking start in 2026. What I'd like to talk to you about is the state of music,
Hmm.
Najee, because if you saw last month, Billboard didn't have any rap in the top 100. That seemed to make news, right?
Yeah.
But what didn't make news is hopefully something else replaces it, and we get back to having diversity in music. Bro,
Yes.
I miss pop, hip hop. I mean, I miss rock and roll. I miss
Yeah.
smooth jazz. And
Yes.
so I'm so glad that we're talking to you today because you're in our January issue in our music session. We're talking about your new album that's come out. It's fantastic. I had a chance to
Thank you.
listen to it. I have to say thank you for sending me my
Thank
autographed copy.
Yes, sir.
Um, Under the Moon, Over the Sky, Najee. I first just have to say it feels like more than jazz. Is
Yes.
that on purpose?
Absolutely. I this is my first time doing an independent record on my own without
Okay.
label financing. So I said, you know what, I'm going to do the record that I want to do because I'm not worried about them just taking one song or two songs, making singles, and then the rest of the album just goes to into oblivion. This here, with this kind of control for me, it gives me the opportunity to explore different singles as well as you've already heard, working with friends of mine in the industry that I absolutely admire and love over the years. And so, yeah.
Bro, I have to tell you,
uh
I've known your music for a while, grew up with you.
Thank you.
I feel like this project might be your most complete. Am
Uh,
I wrong?
no, not at all, because I didn't hold back on anything. This record was started during COVID, honestly. I was down in Brazil, down in Rio de Janeiro, doing a project, a group called Bossa Nova Noeshes, and got to work with that group of artists. Two of the artists that are actually on the current CD you have, and that just started the whole process of me just wanting to do a record that was collaborative. Number one, it was more than just playing the saxophone or the flute, but just playing good music, songs, things that I enjoyed, and working with good people like Barry Eastman, the legendary producer, and several other producers, Robert Abear and a few others on there. And then, it just kind of fell together, man, if you will. It wasn't like I sat with a plan board and gonna do all that. No, it just kind of came together just organically.
Well, I have to tell you, the diversity of the
Oh, thank you.
songs,
Yes,
it has a little bit of an international feel to it.
exactly. Yes.
We are going to put a link to the to your latest project in the
Thank you.
podcast. So if people want to go right to it, they can just click on the link to go hear some samples of it. Where can they get your project if it's independent?
Well, right now at my website, najeeofficial.com, of course, there's the streaming services, Apple Music and Spotify, all that. So, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So talk to me. What is your favorite song on the record?
Oh gosh, I wish I could pick one. There's several, because there's a little bit of a story behind each one.
Okay.
I was in Europe with Regina Bell. We were touring over there in the Mediterranean. And years ago when our careers first started together, I had introduced the idea, hey, why don't we do something together? And she at that point she was doing her big Grammy thing and all that, and she never had the time. And I was like, okay. She says to me in Europe, she says, you and I got to do a record together. I said, all right. All right, we talked about this before. That was 30 years ago. But if I call you this time, you better respond. So, and fortunately, she did. She came in and she did two songs. The title song, which is Under the Moon Over the Sky, which is the dedication actually to Angela Bofield, she wrote that song. And in the early part of my career, we toured together. She and I and Jonathan Butler, our careers just kind of were around the same time. So we did that, and she did La Costa, the famous Natalie Cole song. And then it went on to work with people like Chris Walker. Who else is on there? Will Downing. Bluey from Incognito and others, and the Brazilian artist, as I mentioned earlier, too.
That is fantastic.
Yeah.
That is
hmm
fantastic. So when you say you started in COVID, did it take you 4 years to complete? And you in because it feels like every song almost deserves its own how can I put it? Najee, every song feels like it's the opening to a new project. That's how bold. This is probably, and I'm listen, if I'm wrong, please I apologize.
No, no,
But I
no,
feel
no,
like
no,
this
no
is your
apology.
boldest project, bro, because every single song resonates and it feels
Thank you.
like it just every song feels so good, Najee.
Oh, well, thank you so much. Well, that's what happens when they let you off the plantation, if you
Yeah,
will.
yeah.
Just let you take off the cuffs, take off the gloves, and go for it. And again, there was no time restriction for me, because I made the decision I was going to finance it myself and all that. And I knew whenever I released it, it was going to be timeless for the time we're in. So it didn't matter if I did it in a year or 2 years. But much to say, I really am pleased with the outcome of it.
Okay.
So
So
yeah,
take me through, the record industry. You self finance, right? Because we have a lot of people who, and listen, people right now are at home. They got their own YouTube. They're promoting their own project. Dare I say, the record label is no longer needed because of social media. So
yes,
everybody is kind of self financing and they're going this route. So
right.
for you, we call it four walling in the movie industry, where you literally go from studio to studio, and when I say studio, I mean film house to film house with your own project, or film festivals. So
Mm-hmm.
what is going to be your delivery method with this?
Well, to get it to as many people as I possibly can through the various methods. Touring is a very important part. I announced that we're starting this month. We're starting the Under the Moon, Over the Sky World Tour. So we have a schedule that starts on the East Coast, a whole city winery tour. Um, and just get it out there as much as I can.
Are you going
That's
to
what I
come
plan
to
to do.
Cleveland or be in Ohio at all?
We're actually in Cincinnati. We have
Okay.
Cincinnati on the
Well then,
schedule.
bro, we have to come down there and meet
Oh,
in
no
person.
question, man.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what, man? You come on down. I'll take care of you. Bring
Yes,
your
yes,
guests and
yeah,
we'll
would
we'll
love
take
that.
care of you.
Yeah.
Yes, it'd be my pleasure.
So, so with you touring,
hmm
and then having it on your website, right?
Yes.
Um, are you going to go international? Is this something just doing in the U.S.?
Yes. No, we plan to go international. So far, we have an anchor date in the UK in September. So
Okay,
we're building around that. We have 2 nights in London, and then we're building around that. So
okay.
that's the
Now
goal.
in Cleveland, we have 107.3 The Wave.
Yes. Mhm.
Will you? How do you get this on the air around the country? If it's a solo project or an independent project?
I have radio promo person
Okay,
who's been working that. The first single last year went number one with Brian Simpson. Salvador was the track that went number one. Smooth jazz. So hopefully they've caught on. If not, I'd be more than happy to send them a copy, as you could probably well
right,
imagine.
right, right.
So.
So Najee, going forward, what do
mhm.
you hope to do? Do you hope to stay doing independent projects? What is the method to the madness? And you going independent?
Well, I don't want to say I'm anti-label because, some labels, as you know, have access and structure that would get you a lot further internationally. It's not as easy as it's not as hard, but it's not as easy either.
Okay,
So I'm not totally anti-label. I just think right now at this point, based on what we've been able to achieve with labels recently, um, what we've been able to achieve is not something that we can let them have. We can do it ourselves. I mean, we're doing everything. We end up doing all the work anyway, pretty much.
right, right, right,
So it's like, okay, that you take half the money. And this is
right.
again, this is not a criticism. It's just the way the game is structured. So from here going out, I imagine that the way the industry has changed, we no longer have retail. So that is a big thing. It gives us, in some ways, it hurts because you don't have people, you were mentioning Billboard. Billboard, when I came up, represented actual hard sales.
Yes, I
You
remember.
were
Right,
really selling. Today, Billboard is really just a stat sheet, for the most part. And that's it. It doesn't really guarantee that you're really making the waves you wish you could be making, as we did back then. So.
That's
Hmm.
incredible, bro. So
Yeah,
let's go backward a little bit. Najee, where are you
sure.
from?
New York City, born and raised.
New York
Born
City,
and
born
raised.
and raised.
Yep.
Okay. And what got you into music?
Well, let me see. It started in elementary school. A saxophone player came to our school and played this classic song at the time that I heard on the radio, and I thought he was the guy that did it. But I always loved the sound. My mother was an avid fan of saxophone players. You know, she loved George Coleman with the Miles Davis Quintet. She loved Sonny Stitt. She just loved all these great players. So I grew up listening and hearing the sound. When I got to junior high school, I began playing saxophone and flute. Well, saxophone first, you know, clarinet and then saxophone. When I
Okay.
got to high school, I went to high school to become an airline pilot, but we
Okay.
had a strong music department, and I recall being in a jazz band, and taking my first solo at the age of 15. And after that, all the girls knew my name, so I didn't want to fly planes anymore. I just, but you know, I came from a community that was very strong in music, Jamaica, Queens, New York. When I was 11, we moved to Queens, and that community, man, I mean, I'm grateful to, you know, we had all the rappers, as you mentioned, you know, come from there, LL Cool J, Run DMC and all that. But going back further, we had Tom Brown, Funkers for Jamaican, Bernard Wright. And in the neighborhood I grew up in, you had people who lived there like James Brown,
Wow.
John Coltrane lived there, Count Basie. You know, there was just a great community in the system. The public school system really supported
Wow.
music,
Okay.
you know. So I'm a product of New York City public education, and I'm not ashamed. I don't apologize. I'm proud of that. I got to study with the legendary Jimmy Heath at Jazzmobile in Harlem when I
Okay.
was a teenager. And I also got to study flute with the legendary Harold Jones, who was the first African American flute player for the Brooklyn Philharmonic Orchestra. I studied with him at Manhattan School of Music. So, you know, what can I say, man? New York has been good to me. You know,
That's
it's,
outstanding.
yeah.
That's outstanding. So when you got your start, did someone
Hmm.
discover you? How was what does that unramp look like for Najee?
Well, I started in the local, you know, the local bands. You know, I
Okay.
was a part of the bands. You know, we competed, the battle, the bands, all that stuff in the neighborhood. And then when I was 18, I was playing in a band called Area Code. We were an R&B show band, and we got hired by the U.S. military to back up Miss Black America, Twana
Wow.
Kilgore. Yeah.
Okay.
So you know, I was the youngest guy in the band, and we toured all over Europe and Central America, parts of South America, and uh, backing up Miss Black America, you know. And so my first world tour began when I was 18. Then I came back, I went to college. Um, Up until I couldn't afford to go anymore. And then in
Now wait.
1983,
What do you mean you
yeah.
couldn't afford to go because you were
Well,
so
you know,
busy with
I
music
didn't
or
have any money. I was fortunate to get in, you know,
okay.
I was fortunate to get into Bronx Community College, which had a great music department under Valerie Capers. And then after a year, after my second semester there, I decided to go to audition for a conservatory, New England Conservatory of Music in Boston. Got in, my brother and I both. And then, but it was a school that was very, very expensive. You know, it was more expensive than the Berkeley School of Music at the
Okay.
time. So, studied there for up until I just couldn't afford to go anymore and had to leave, you know, because scholarships ran out. And that was it. I left in my third year there and then came back home to New York City. And a few weeks later, coming home, I got a call to go join Shaka's band on the Ain't Nobody tour, you know, and
What?
the rest was history. Yeah, the rest was history. Yeah.
Wow, wow. So you've
Yeah.
played with some. In researching for the interview, I had a
Hmm.
chance to take a look at who you've worked with. Can you just kind of go through some of the artists that you've been fortunate enough to work with over your career?
Oh, God, so many. Let me see, where do I start? Well, you know, you mentioned Shaka,
Yes,
George Duke, Stanley Clark, Herbie Hancock, Prince, you know, toured with him for 3 years and recorded with him. Who else? Patti LaBelle. I mean, it just so many, you know. Yeah, I've been fortunate.
Najee,
You know,
that
it's not
is.
like I went out seeking these gigs. They just came my way. I even played in a band called BBQ, and I don't know if you remember them, Brooklyn, Bronx, Queens. Are you ready or not? It's only up the street. That was a big hit. As a matter of fact, I didn't even play saxophone in the band. I played keyboards, you know, so I
So
did
wait a
whatever
minute,
I
wait
had
a
to
minute,
do.
wait a minute. So I know you do flute,
Yes,
sax,
saxophone.
and you play the piano.
And I played keyboards. Yes.
So
Yeah.
okay. So I need to understand what is your
Okay.
favorite instrument
Uh-huh.
that you play?
I don't have one. You know, I play saxophone, I play flute, and those are my primaries. But you know, coming up in New York, in order to understand music theory, composition, and harmony and how it worked, we were encouraged to learn how to play piano. So I did. I didn't become a great piano player, but I could play well enough to play in a band that like
Okay.
that, where, I was the second keyboard player. So I played all the strings, horns, and bell parts, things like that.
Wow.
But in the 80s, because saxophone was not really a primary hire, for gigs, except maybe solos or horn sections and recordings, I had to gig however I could, and I got invited to be a guy who could play keyboards. But when they needed a sax solo, I could take it.
Right. Right.
So
Right.
that's how that developed for me.
Bro,
Hmm.
that is smart, man.
Oh yeah.
Now,
Uh-huh.
I know, your current project has a little bit of R&B in it.
Yes.
You have some international flavor in there.
Yes.
Um, Over the course of your career, would you say, what has been probably your highest notarized project?
Ooh. Oh gosh. Well, I've had several, to be honest with you. I would have to say maybe my first four albums. Now, they weren't, in my opinion, as an artist, you know, uh, probably a reflection of my deep ability, I would like to say, you know. But they were discovery records and they worked. It was really an experiment. I mean, Najee's theme, which, in a few months was certified gold, for a saxophone player with a name that nobody understood or could say back then in the late 80s. Um, I kind of came out of nowhere, and I was doing an R&B record with the saxophone. I didn't even call it jazz. They called it jazz,
They
but for
called it
me,
jazz. Right.
yeah, I was
Right.
playing R&B music and put the saxophone as the lead voice, and it connected, and the rest was as it came, so
Yeah, man. Yeah. Do you feel like jazz comes in waves? Because I
yes,
remember being 18, 19, falling in love with jazz. My uncle
yes,
introduced me to jazz at his house, and then I kind of fell in love with it. And so
mhm,
Norman Brown,
yeah.
you know, I just really like jazz. And then I kind of went into a different phase as I got older, and then different genres kind of became popular. So, in your opinion, do you feel like jazz comes and goes in waves?
It does, Of course, jazz is, if it's supported by corporate money, record companies, it can do a lot better. Every now and then an artist comes along that gets that. Like that's my man, the keyboard player. Gosh, my mind is going bad. Robert Glasper, for
Okay.
example,
Okay.
who's a great jazz pianist, but he's bridged the R&B world with what he does, and he's doing very well with it. I mean, he has stars like Layla Hathaway and many many others on his records, and he does very well. You're right. I think it does come in waves. I think it's a struggle when we have to fight for respect, particularly like in the case of the Grammys. The fight we went through to keep it as a viable American art form. And then I read an article, maybe about, I don't know, maybe 8 years ago, where it said that the New York Times said that all forms of jazz and classical combined represented less than 1% of record sales,
Hmm.
music sales, which is why thereby we have to fight for respect,
Right.
so
Right.
yeah,
Right. But in my opinion, jazz provides, how can I put it? It resonates with me when I need jazz. I'll put it to
uh,
you that way.
so do I.
Right. I need jazz, man. Almost like, I need, certain kinds of music when I'm working out. But
Yeah,
if I'm on a freeway and I'm driving 3 hours, or if I had a hard day, man, and I just need maybe melodic tunes, I don't need a voice, right? But I need smooth, and I just, like a lot of times if I'm writing an article and I'm typing, I can't have words in the background. I need music, I need
yes,
noise, but I don't need words, right? Because it messes with me in typing. But jazz is there for me because it provides the background noise that I need to really sink my mind into the article. And so I think people, man, need to rediscover jazz and need to re-fall in love with jazz if they've fallen out of it, because I don't want to say music has gone away, but it's so hard to find good music now. I don't think
yes.
anybody listens to the radio anymore. I think
No,
XM and Apple Music has dominated what we listen to. So how do we discover new artists, right?
yeah,
So I'm so glad that you're touring,
yes,
because now we kind of get to come see you. We get to get reconnected, and then live music, Najee, is the best form of listening to music.
I
Who
agree.
who are you touring with? Do you have who do you have on your tour with you?
Well, we have this the City Winery Tour, which covers a lot of the Northeast Florida, from Boston through New York, Pennsylvania, to Georgia, and then we have Chicago, Midwest Chicago, St. Louis. That's pretty much just me headlining, you know.
Okay.
Then I have a couple of shows with Regina Bell, Alex Bouillon, and I together. I'm on festivals, I'll be on the Capital Jazz Super Cruise. So I don't know, there's a bunch of artists on that Jazz Super Cruise. So there's different artists throughout the year that'll be with me.
Okay. That's outstanding, man. That's outstanding. Well, Najee, I can't tell you how much we appreciate you coming and talking to us today. The article is in our January issue in our music section of Coden Magazine, brother. It is
Yes,
so
sir.
good to talk to you and see you. And let's connect when you come to Ohio and, come down
Are
and
you
jam
are you in
together.
the Cincinnati area? You're out of Cleveland, you
I'm
said,
in
right?
Cleveland. I'm
Okay.
in Northeast Ohio.
Oh, okay.
But yes,
Do you
I'll
know
drive
Riley
down there.
Richard? Do you know Riley Richard, saxophonist?
I don't know Rodney Richard, but I'm scheduled to
Riley?
interview Will Downing here coming
Oh,
up
Willard. Yeah,
soon.
yeah, yeah. Tell him I
Yes,
said
yes,
hello.
yes. Yes, I
Yeah,
definitely will.
hit him on
I
top of the head
definitely
for
will.
me. Yeah, he's on the record too, so
Yeah,
he's on
yeah,
there.
I noticed
Yeah,
because I took a look at so
the
let
credits.
me ask you before we
Hmm.
let you go, right?
Hmm.
Are did you compose a lot of this yourself? What does that look like when you're composing? What's the inspiration? I've always wanted to ask jazz artists,
Hmm. Yeah.
how do you come up with the names for your songs? Because it's music, but what inspires the words that you use to title them?
Sure. I look for inspiration with other artists now, because the days of me doing everything by myself, I mean, I enjoy that, but I find I get more out of it when I collaborate. So I co-wrote a few of the songs with other
Other
artists,
people.
like,
Okay.
yeah, other people, yeah, on this particular project, as well as doing a couple of covers. We have two Brazilian covers on there. And of course, we have the title song, "Under the Moon, Over the Sky," as well as "La Costa."
Okay.
Those are remakes. But yeah, I did co-wrote with everybody on there. Yeah,
Bro, do you ever use pain to write? I mean, do you ever use
Pain.
life experience? I mean,
Oh
just
yeah. Oh
life
yeah.
in general, bro. Like
Yeah.
life
Well,
experience.
listen, man. As you get older, you avoid a lot of that stuff. But when you first started out, yeah, trust me. I think you can't see the plaques back here, all these gold records I got back here, but there's a lot
Okay.
of pain on those records. I'll tell you that.
A lot of pain, huh? And
Yeah,
you
they
turned it into
symbolized
wine, huh?
in awards back there. Yeah.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
uh
Now I know you got some is it Soul Train Music Awards?
Yes, I got two of
I think
those.
you were nominated for a Grammy.
Yes. Hmm.
Okay. Okay. Anything
Yes.
else that you've received throughout your career?
Oh, various. The Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award when President Biden was in office. What else? The NAACP, Image Award. I was nominated three times, but I've won it once in 2006. So, it varies. I can't think of all of them, but
Yes, yes, yes,
that's all
yes.
of them.
That is
Yeah.
outstanding. All right, so tell me, man, what do you do when you're not playing music? Are you a golfer? Do you do
I
anything
wish
else?
I did, man. One time I used to go to the Orlando Magic games when Dr. J was over the Orlando Magic here in
Okay.
Florida. And then one day he hit me with it. He was like, "Yo, when you coming out to play golf with me, man?" I was like, "Yo, Doc, I drive the cart for you,
Okay.
because I used to hit him up for the good games, man, get the tickets. He was
Right,
real good to
right.
me. But honestly, I don't. But honestly, I do ride bike. I sometimes swim here at home,
Okay.
but no, basically take it easy, man. Coming home is really good for me because I'm on the road all the time. I mean,
I can
yeah,
imagine.
yeah,
I can
so,
imagine. Yes, yes.
being here, I just got here the other day and I'm like, okay, I got three weeks to be here in the house and finally clean out my closet. You ever like buy a bunch of stuff and you don't really like during COVID, this happened a lot for me. You buy
Okay.
some stuff and you forget you bought it. And I'm not really
Yes,
like I'm not a spender like impulsive,
yes,
but you forget
yes.
about it. And then when you're home, you go to the closet, you're like, oh man, I totally forgot I bought. What is this?
Bro, I bought a coat. I bought a coat 2 years ago, and I've been trying to figure out where to wear this coat because it's not summer, it's not
Right.
winter,
Uh-huh.
and depending on what the event is, I can't look, too fly. So
Right, right.
I'm trying to figure. I'm waiting for the right invite, man, to wear this coat.
I
And
get
so I
it.
have not been able to wear this. I've had this thing for 2 years, and sometimes I
Wow.
just put it on And I'm
Uh-huh.
walking around the house like, one day, baby, one day.
Gonna be
Najee, I'm
me and
like,
you. We're gonna get out here.
yeah, 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 yeah.
You
So
feel
I'm
like
like,
Denzel. You feel like Denzel in that movie American Gangster, where he was at the fight, man, walking
yeah.
around in a chinchilla coat. Yeah, it's like
Yeah.
you can't wear it out, but when you do, it takes
Oh
it
man.
gets
So I
attention.
bro, I'm my goal in 2026 is to wear this coat somewhere. I'm gonna come down to Cincinnati. Hey, you
Hey,
know
man,
what? You know
well,
what? I'm gonna wear
you'll
the
have
coat.
special seats, man. So bring it.
All right, okay, all right, all
Just
right.
don't be afraid to be seen. That's all.
Exactly, exactly. Yeah, yeah, yeah. And if I
Yes,
get
sir.
teased, it is what it is, man. Because I'm like, this
Yeah,
coat's,
oh, man.
hey, Najee, the coat's kind of fly, bro. So I'm
That
like,
right. Well, hey,
yeah.
man.
So it's
Well,
the
you know what,
Najee
man?
concert.
Yeah, that's right. So listen, you make sure when you wear that coat, just remember one thing, man. We'll leave this world and never do what we supposed to do, man. So just
Exactly.
wear your coat.
Exactly. Exactly.
There you go, man.
Exactly. Well, Code and family, thank you for hanging out with us. If you like what you see, please subscribe. Again, we're going to leave Najee's links to his projects, his webpage, where you can buy his latest project in a link. So please go to it. Also, check out Code M Magazine at www.codemmagazine.com. Najee, again, we appreciate you, man. Good luck to you. Stay
Thank you,
safe.
Brad.
And
Yes,
I
sir.
will see you on tour. And
Yes, sir.
have a good day.
You too, my friend.
All
Be
right.
well. Thank you.